story begins high above the fog-shrouded cliffs of Playa del Rey at Loyola University of Los Angeles, the only school that can make that statement. As mild-mannered philosophy major Lance Lipp, secretly Loyolaman, emerges from the Malone Student Center to discover jumpin' Jesuits' dirty work atop the Foley Communication Arts Center. And further perusal does indeed show a hooded figure wreaking mayhem on none other than Lance Lipp's alter ego, Mighty Mountie. And as the villain continues, she looks down and discovers that she's in danger of falling to her death against some finely designed concrete. He must save her. Lance rushes to the phone. Oops. Ahem. Lance rushes to the phone booth with the rose. And the secret words, Holy Thomism, Kazan. Loyolaman flies and arrives in the nick of time. Before he can rescue Mighty Mountie, it looks as though he will be forced to fight this strange hooded figure. It's going to be a fair fight. Each one taking his own turn to prove his strength to the other, mano a mano. A mano. This is the sort of thing that can go on all day, and Loyolaman, realizing that the ends justifies the means, cheats. Puzzled by the apparent philosophical contradiction, the villain flees in confusion. Loyolaman rescues Mighty Mountie. What's this from down below? Why, it's none other than a Loyola security guard. The guard is demanding they get down. Thanks for the help, fella. Who is that guy? He's a purple aardvark. He wants to take over the world, and he's living in a ghost town out in the desert. What? Let's go get him. In their secret identities, Lance Lipp and April Love, our two heroes, enter the ghost town, which is the aardvark's domain. A bar filled with henchmen. They order a couple of drinks, obviously coolers or sarsaparillas or some other non-alcoholic beverage. A fight breaks out. It's a rowdy bar. Lance decides to ask questions of the strange figure down the bar. Who are you, sir? See this? I am the dog catcher here. I am the marshal. I am the sheriff. It's Marshall's Law here. Martial law? What's this kid drinking? Milk? A challenge to his manhood cannot go unanswered. Martial law issues the ultimate challenge. You want to fight? Step over that line. This means a fight where I come from. Well, why aren't you fighting? Step over that line. Out in the blazing sun, the challenge continues, martial law drawing a line in the sand. Lance stupidly continues to step over it. Across the main street of town, embarrassingly enough, Lance forges on, past all the tourists, Meanwhile, a poor hillbilly and his wife look on. Back inside the saloon, with nothing to do but drink, our sweet April Love succumbs to the effects of a few Colorado coolers, and in her impaired state she is able to pay no attention to a mysterious hand, which leaves a note. Meanwhile, Lance, looking a little worse for wear and running out of water, rapidly becomes dehydrated. One more line in the sand. Lance's last line. Oblivion. Now it's time for martial law to look around for his own henchmen. The Indians who have attacked this poor wagon train, railroad train, set it ablaze, murdered the engineer, looting and burning and pillaging and taking wheels and pillaging a lot and looting stuff. Taking out his Oscar Mayer wiener whistle, the sheriff summons the natives. Pointing to the prone, helpless body of Lance, he says, "He's all yours, boys." The Indians carry our hero across a ravine to a conveniently located, already vertical stake. And there, while some Indians tie Lance to the stake, other Indians gather brush and put it around his feet. Another Indian sets fire to the brush at Lance's feet. Another Indian in the background yells, "Give us Barabbas." Indians were often confused with historical time. The flames are about to consume him. Is this the end of our hero? Don't miss Chapter 2, The Flames of Death. You'll recall the Indian tying him to a stake carelessly discarded a cigar, which the Indian with the torch stepped on, burning his foot severely. He goes hopping away while the other Indians, assuming it was some sort of new dance, walk away with him and follow him. And it was a new dance because it was a rain dance. Rain from the sky. Rain conveniently extinguishes the flames. And now our hero takes his chance. Holy Thomism! Kazam! As the lightning bolt streaks across the screen, martial law, astounded, runs away because it's LOYOLAMAN. Realizing that discretion is the better part of valor, he simply pulls the stake out of the ground and carefully and quietly sneaks away. And, of course, flies to safety. Landing back in the ghost town, he changes back into his secret identity of Lance Lip. April Love brings the note out. What did the note say? Obviously, it said to go to the bridge near the fraternity house. Wait a minute. Who's that waiting for you? 2 shadowy figures on one side and 3 shadowy figures on the other side. Now it's time to use his X-ray vision. And he sees that they are indeed the Aardvark's henchmen. It's time to change into their secret identities. So running to each side of the bridge, Lance runs around the edge of the bridge. Lightning bolts flash. Kazam! And they tackle the enemy. You get these 3. I'll take these 2. Fortunately, the workmen who built the bridge left behind half of their tools and most of their materials. There are enough bricks to keep these villains at bay, maybe. And when those are gone, there's a big bag of cement, partially opened. The villains attack. There's one down, another one down, a third, all the way down. Mighty Mountie has taken care of the final henchman before Loyola Man gets a chance to interrogate him. Where's the aardvark? Where's the aardvark? He's in the cave. And the henchman dies. Obviously, it's a time for our hero to go to the secret cave. But in the excitement of the moment, Mighty Mountie has forgotten that she can't fly. Landing at the secret cave, Loyola Man goes inside. But the aardvark isn't in. He's on the outside. He follows our hero in. Deeper and deeper into the cave, into the bowels of the innards of the colon and alimentary canal of the earth. Loyola Man passes an abandoned cart, agile, nimble, sure-footed. The aardvark enters. I'll hit him with this rock. No, I have a better idea. He pushes the ore cart down the cave toward our hero, who is going further and further into the cave. The ore cart rumbles on. He reaches the end of the cave? Oh, what's that rumbling sound? The heavily laden cart rumbling down the cave toward our hero, ready to crush him at the end of the cave. Will this be the end of our hero? Don't miss the wheels of death. Chapter 3. You will recall that Loyola Man had entered the cave in search of the aardvark, who had entered the cave and pushed the ore cart toward our hero. Egad! He saw the ore cart coming and was forced to reach up with his superhuman strength, tilt the cave the other direction, sending the cart rumbling back towards the mouth of the cave and back at the aardvark. The aardvark, jumping in glee, thinking that he had killed Loyola Man, suddenly realizes that the ore cart is coming back at him. The villain runs out of the cave. The ore cart rumbles away, and Loyola Man goes after the ore cart. Could the aardvark have fallen over the cliff? Our hero wonders. Let me go and take a look. All the way down the cliff, our hero goes. Embarrassed, irritated, angered, he gestures obscenely towards the villain. With anger, the villain gestures back. Loyola Man must fly back to the ghost town. An angry Loyola Man arrives and heads back to the saloon where martial law is entertaining April Love. All right, you. I want to know, where's the aardvark? The aardvark is... A hand with a gun from the room above. A shot is fired, hitting martial law. But he's still alive, and Loyola Man again asks, who is the aardvark? The aardvark is... Again the door, again the hand, again the gun is predictably, again the bullet same result. Aardvark is. Again the door, the gun. Martial law seeks safety because Loyola man ain't helping any. Aardvark is. He dies. And in an incredible physiological moment, rigor mortis sets in virtually immediately. Rats, says Loyola man. I almost had a chance. Wait, what's that noise? It's the Indians? Incensed by their leader, martial law, having been killed, the Indians are massing outside for an attack on the saloon. Indians! The battle rages. The Indians are massing. April Love is suddenly abducted. The battle goes on for hours. Hours and hours. Every time the henchmen of the Aardvark get the upper hand, the Indians make a comeback. But in fact, just like in John Wayne movies, all the Indians are dead or are dying. Loyola man wants to know, where is April Love? She's up there. In the Aardvark sawmill, the Aardvark turns the lever and starts the blades of death. Loyola man enters the room, and another battle begins as April Love terrifyingly edges closer and closer to the blade. Is this the end of our heroine? Don't miss the next exciting chapter, The Blade of Death. As you recall, our mighty heroine has been tied to a log and was headed for a whirring sawmill blade when the Aardvark, in a battle with Loyola man, clumsily bumps against the blade, injuring himself. It gives Loyola man the upper hand. In the meantime, April Love, realizing that she is not about to be rescued, takes the moment to slide down the log. The battle ebbs and flows. Loyola Man runs through the saloon, resists temptation, and continues to pursue the aardvark, who drives away in, what else? The aardvark mobile. Loyola Man knows exactly where the aardvark is going. He flies to the university where all of this started. The aardvark's car. It's still warm. He spotted the villain hiding behind the pillars. He chases him into the building, and for the first time in Full Communication Arts history, a stunning moment. The elevator works, but Loyola Man gets there in time. Now we are going to find out who the aardvark really is. That collar, that pipe, and that stamp of approval. Yes, it's Father Rolfs, the Dean of Men.
One, two.
The Indians were played by Don Hessler and a bunch of other Phi Kappa guys. The aardvark's henchmen. The entire traveling cast of West Side Story played the aardvark's henchmen. The bar girls were played by some bar girls. And the bartender was Ron Levins. Tom Gasparati was martial law. Lance Lipp was played by Kevin Donnelly. And the secret identity of Mighty Mountie will never be revealed. April Love is played by Susie Yates, among others. The aardvark is Tom Kellen, and this was written by Tom Gasparati, Tom Dempsey, and Ron Levins. The overexposed camera work was by Joe Hallworth. Directed by Ron Levins, who consistently riled the actors beyond their limits. And of course, Loyola Man was George Douglas Carr. And brought to you by the brothers of Phi Kappa Theta, Alpha Nu Chapter. A Rank Feature production.